Center of the face. Good. Let's see it again. Shawn and Savannah here. And so Savannah hits this driver really awesome. I mean, we hit that right in the center of the face. And you're basically carrying it between 250 and 260.
Yeah.
And because it's a low spin head, we're, in good conditions. We're going to be going to Arizona and Palm Springs soon. Mm-hmm. So you'll see that the fairways roll a lot more over there. So
yeah.
you're gonna really enjoy the booms you're going to hit over there.
Yeah.
And so you get some good distance out of that, but the consistency is not quite there. So you notice, the first one kind of hung out to the left, and it didn't draw back, and it was 275, and that one overdrew. And then when you take this driver, especially I've seen you in play with it, I mean, that's your trusty 240 to 250 carry.
Yeah, like this one I feel really confident with, whereas that one I'm like,
Yeah, exactly. So this particular shaft here is a stiff flex shaft in the Alta. And this is the new Alta in the regular flex. And so when we went to Club Champion, go ahead and hit one. Okay, whoop.
Oh, that was 260 carry.
260. How's that?
262 carry.
262 carry. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You've really improved. So your fitness routine with Menashe has really helped you out. I can really see. I mean, if you look at the club speed that you just picked up on that, I mean, look at that. You're at 105 miles an hour. You're 100 to 102. Now you're 105. So we went to Club Champion, and when we were down at the Orlando PGA show, and we found a really cool shaft. And while she was doing the fitting, we wanted to present that fitting to you. We're trying to condense it as much as we can because
efficiently condense it. So it was what, like an hour? And
it takes about an hour, right? Because he gets you to hit your two gamers. We brought both drivers down to try to get a clear conscience out of it.
Yep.
And then because oftentimes with this in play, you would hit it longer and this one a little less, but that one a lot more consistent.
Yeah.
So we wanted a blend of both.
Yeah.
And because the LST, the 410 head, wasn't available in the LST last year, we finally got it in, mid-season or end of season.
Yep.
But you're already used to that driver. So we had the guys at Club Champion get the LST head, which is the same looking head as that.
Yep.
And we were able to find the right shaft.
Yeah.
And while you were hitting, it was amazing the difference that another shaft made.
I know, and even just trying all the different shafts out,
it
was really cool. What they did there is that they color coordinate each shaft, and so you hit like 2 to 4 shots with each shaft, and then you get to see like the spray pattern.
Yeah, their software is really cool.
Yeah, the software is really cool. So when they bring it up on the screen, you have all the shafts there, color coordinated, and you can see where the dispersion was for all of them.
Yeah.
And they circle it for you. And the one that I ended up really liking, I had like a dispersion of like 5-10 yards maybe.
It was amazing. I mean, it's this puny little circle in the middle of the
screen. Yeah, it was
screen.
like this little circle, and then like some of the other ones were like this big like oval, and then
and that's where I mean, you love hitting the ping head. I mean, it's such a solid head for you, and it's in my opinion one of the the best drivers in the market. Yeah. But the shaft combination with it is really key, and it's very difficult for manufacturers to carry all the different lines, and that's why my whole life I knew. And if you look at one of my older videos on how to choose your irons, I mean, you got to try them before you buy them.
Yeah.
So first we figure out, hey, the ping head is the one that we want.
Yeah.
And then we go through the different shafts, and then you realize, whoa, and it's like, it was so painfully obvious too.
Yeah.
So here it is. We're going to show you the different, we're trying to condense it as much as possible. and you'll really see at one point there was one particular shaft that was really notable.
I don't usually do this. Okay, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's a little bit different today. I'm taking over the channel. Dad's behind the camera this time. I'm here with Jesse from Club Champion here in Orlando, and we're kind of doing a little gapping session and kind of showing you guys what Club Champion is all about. So yeah.
We did driver and 3-wood, right?
We did, driver fitting and a 3-wood fitting. So.
Yep. Getting some pretty good results. Definitely getting a little bit higher with the 3-wood, a little more efficiency as far as ball speed for her club head speed. And we're gonna try to build those clubs exactly how we hit them today. To you. So I'm just gonna label this gamer. So go ahead and hit 3 shots. We'll compile all the data together and go over the numbers. Okay. Okay, good shot. Okay, so these are the last 3 shots, all compiled together. So let's look at the data and see what it says. So obviously we know what club head speed is, right?
Yeah.
Not really a big topic of discussion there. So as it relates to fitting, we want to see something that has as much ball speed for the club head speed. You should be getting more ball speed really. And the way, how you know whether or not you're getting that is by smash factor. So everybody, it's ball speed divided by club head speed. And it's really an efficiency metric to say how well is that shaft, head, length, combination of everything working for me to hit the center of the face, and how well is this club really working for me, right?
Right.
So you're really, really good, 1.48. And anything we can do to increase that is only going to be more ball speed, right?
Right.
So all in all, you know, like shafts, when they're built by a manufacturer to a mass degree, they generally help people with the biggest problems, which people have a hard time getting the ball airborne. You don't seem to do that, right? They're too light. And in your case, with your club path, traveling to the left 11 degrees, probably a little bit heavier of a shaft might be able to help you. You see a little bit more on plane, so where you wouldn't be able to not draw it, but you probably wouldn't ever really hook it with a little bit heavier one.
Right.
That's what we were talking about with Nick today at Ping, right? A heavier shaft.
There you go. There you go. So 1.48 and smash is great. Anything we can do to increase that, great. Your launch is pretty good. If your attack angle, it's a little bit of a catch-22 because he's, you know, on the current launch monitor you guys are using, if your attack angle is normally, what did you say, 7 degrees?
Yeah.
So it's going to affect launch. So we have to get with what we're working with here. It's a little bit, I would like to see it go higher, but I think you're doing that if you're swinging up on it.
Yeah.
And the spin is really, really good for where it is on average. I wouldn't say you'd want to increase that very much. In lowering it by 500 RPMs would probably not keep the ball in the air long enough to get maximum carry. So you don't want to sacrifice carry yardage, right? The overall height is, I'd like to see it a little bit higher, but again, I think you probably get that when you're swinging up higher on it, and therefore also affecting your landing angle. So
What's it say here for the overall height?
59 feet.
And normally she's around 100 feet.
Okay, so yeah, and that's going to affect landing angle too. So landing angle is really good because you want enough to get the ball rolling, but too steep, and obviously it'll stop where it lands.
Yeah.
So that too. The curve's not a big issue. You're hitting it basically a little off to the left, but really that's pretty much center, just where we're hitting it on the screen. No really issue. So if we can find something, and if you'd like to take a couple cuts as well with a higher.
Maybe a couple of swings.
Let me just make the quick adjustment so we don't.
Sure. I think I was just,
A little more forward. That's it. You feel like you can catch it on the way up there?
Yeah.
All right.
I think I'm just getting ahead of it a bit.
That's all right. Not bad. 3.5 degrees up, yeah.
There you go. Now it's 3.5 degrees up.
So Savannah, would I be safe to say the shot when you miss it, it's a big hook?
Probably, yeah.
I mean, most good players, right? And anyone who comes 11 degrees swinging inside out like that is generally, you know, if you close the face and get it square to or close to your path, it's going to go right.
Yeah. I'll try and play a little fade.
Her stock shot. She plays a nice power fade as well.
Oh, cool. That was smoked.
That's the one.
So that's kind of the ideal.
Yeah.
And there your carry yardage goes up 15 yards just like that with the same club head speed. Still a really good smash.
Is that, I know this turf,
Yeah.
this fiber built turf is a little bit thicker in the pile, so you gotta tee it up a lot higher.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So let's see you get above those numbers now. Above the ball speed, left edge of that intermediate point.
Beautiful.
Now it's getting above.
There
Yeah.
we go.
That's more like it. I was
Spin
like,
jumped a
what's
little
going on?
bit, right?
Off center.
Yeah. Yeah. But pretty good smash still. So yeah, I mean, you know, I can't say it doesn't fit you poorly, right? I just think you'd probably need something that helps your club path a little bit, all in general. And if you can increase your smash, you're only going to get more ball speed, more carry,
Right.
more distance, right? Shorter
Yeah,
irons.
because I
to the
love
green.
the feel of that head.
Yeah,
It's
they
like
did a
feels
really
like
good
butter.
job. Yeah. So let's try that one.
Sure.
Yeah. So obviously a better launch,
Yeah.
but our smash is going down, so our ball speed's suffering, right? Same amount of
Yeah.
club head speed, you're not getting quite as much out. So I can see why that shaft in particular really doesn't fit you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Too
I
soft.
mean, the spin's way too high.
Yeah.
There we go. So it is in there.
Yeah.
As far as 1.49 smash, it doesn't. But you know, how often is it happening? Not as often as it should.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I'm gonna grab a test head, and we're gonna stick with the G410. I've got it set to 9 degrees right now.
Perfect.
So we're gonna kind of see what we can do with shafts to try to improve that and kind of stabilize everything. Higher smash, more consistent spin, more consistent launch, all that. So be right back.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Different.
Okay. Solid. Nice. Very, very good.
Nice.
That's killed. Great ball.
Wow. 16 launch.
Beauty, okay. How's that feel as far as, are you having to put any extra effort into it? You just gripping it and ripping it?
Not really.
Cool.
Yeah.
The, I would want the smash to be a little bit higher to justify saying it's better than what you currently have.
Yeah.
But when you look at it on the grid, the one thing to look at, and this is kind of a, I mean, for anybody playing or aspiring to play professionally, is this cluster and how tight can we get it, right?
Right.
This orange one's the current one you're hitting,
Okay.
right? So tighter dispersion
Yeah.
and a little bit better carry yardage. You can see the ball speed numbers too. While it is a little bit minimal, right? We're still leaving a little bit on the table. So,
Yeah.
you know, we should be able to get that around 145, 146 consistently if we do a better job with smash factor.
Sure.
But all in all, looks pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Can't turn my nose up at it anyway. I kind of look at these numbers too to see how stable the spin gets, right? So 2200 was the first one you really crushed. That was one of our longer, well actually the 15.2 because you launched that higher. But that's kind of the ideal window of what we want to stay in.
Yeah.
But as long as it does not jumping all over the place,
Yeah.
it should be a pretty tight dispersion.
Okay,
So,
cool.
Yeah, try another one real quick.
This is fun.
It's cool, right?
Show you guys a little bit where the shafts he's got to choose from. Isn't that amazing?
So it's going to have a lower launch properties. Nice. Let's see what this does. Okay. Let's change shafts. So 50 stiff. You want to see this like this? Oh.
Diamana. The coupling system is just amazing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This one.
Difference in launch. Look at that.
Yeah.
16 degrees almost.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You can really feel the difference between every shaft.
Yeah.
Like they're all so different.
And how they load and unload and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 1.49 and 2358. That's one of the better balls you've hit today.
Yeah. That was high on the face.
Let's like to see what the miss does. You know, not bad.
That's a good miss, yeah.
Yeah.
Carry yardage almost didn't.
So I
change at all.
felt that way up on the face.
Did it?
And it wasn't that bad.
Nice. Okay. So we're gonna go back here to this page and see what we can see here with all the numbers together. So just looking at the grid, first and
Yeah.
foremost, this one's kind of standing out to me with both its dispersion and its carry yardage being on the average the furthest,
Yeah.
right? And that's the Ventus Red, first one we grabbed.
Okay.
And it's pretty big, increase in, not huge, but you know, for better players, it's funny. Better players have better feel, right? So they kind of know right away what's going to fit them right away. They're not going to grab a 55 regular off the shelf if they're, you know, swinging 100 miles an hour. Right. So you've kind of already done that a little bit, maybe subconsciously for yourself. So any minute changes we can see in ball speed, typically that's the thing. That your average handicap who comes in here is, you know, anywhere from a 10 to 25. You know, we do get a lot of good players in here for sure, but they see a huge gains because they have no idea. They just grab it off the shelf. This looks good. My buddy's hitting it. Whatever. I saw him hit it. I hit my buddies at the range. They get it out there, and you know what happens, right? So any incremental steps we can make with regards to increasing ball speed is definitely going to help us. And then for better players, typically it's not even, they're hitting it far, right? So they want it tightened up. They could really give a care less. They just don't want to hit it OB ever, right?
Right.
So that's what I like about that first shaft, which is good. Let me try one more for you.
Okay.
And go from there. Very cool. You know, it's funny, like you said, you can really tell the difference between shafts. I did take you, though, from one opposite end of the spectrum to the other.
Yeah, okay.
Right? So, yeah.
I was like,
One with stiff butt, stiff tip to a little softer tip.
Right?
Yeah.
That's how you find
Yeah,
the right
the magic, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
This is an even flow. It's the blue, so it's more the mid, not really low. Yeah.
That's the new even flow.
And these are all the small batch ones too. So
Project X, right?
we don't. Yeah, same company. Yeah. Nice.
245 carry.
And that's a good sign too. The first swing, that's one of the higher swing speeds of the day.
Yeah.
Beauty. Oh, that's crushed.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. So there's a couple things too with players, right? So if the smash factor fluctuates, I don't want to see the carry yardage fluctuate a whole lot, right?
Yeah.
It'll generally be a little bit more spinny or a little higher, a little lower, whatever it is. But if the dispersion's good and the carry yardage doesn't change much, even when the smash factor is sacrificed, then you know you're in a pretty good fit there. So those three balls that you hit really well, 240, 243, 245 carry,
Yeah.
right? Looking on the grid for more of a graphic depiction, and look how tight that is.
Oh,
my
yeah.
Lord.
Wow.
Right?
Look
So
at that.
then we go from,
That changed everything.
yeah. We go from basically singling out our best options and kind of, I like to retest with really good players to see how they react to it second, so I'll call it round two. Oh, that's awesome.
So we hope you enjoyed that, and that even flow shaft, by the way, is so important that you understand. I'll give you a quick story. Mike Weir, when I was at Taboo, Mike Weir's home course, I was director of instruction there from 2002 to 2005. And at one point, Mike had this awesome driver from TaylorMade, and it was a tour preferred TaylorMade, you know, left-handed. It was a slightly deeper face, and he was killing it, right? And in 02, we knew something amazing was going to happen in 03.
Yeah.
And just because of his ball striking was off the charts. I mean, he was carrying his 3-iron at the time with that ball, 235, and that guy's not a big guy.
Yeah.
And so, like, I was super impressed, and what was really neat is that he ordered, because titanium was, you know, brand new, a lot of heads were caving in from all different kinds of manufacturers. He says, well, I need a backup just in case. So he had 8 more clubs made, exactly the same shaft, same head, and 1 more fit the bill.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And that's why the shaft that you're getting, that Project X Even Flow small batch.
Yeah.
See, that's where I really like what Club Champion is doing, because they understand that when you make shafts in small batches, they're going to be way more consistent one from the next. So I know the shaft that when we get the club in, and we're waiting very patiently, by the way, when we get that club in, it's going to feel pretty much like the club you tried.
Yeah.
And I remember at one point, back when I was with Titleist, I got fit for a driver. When I received my driver, it didn't feel at all the same.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people experience that.
Yeah. So, and that's one of the things that you'll appreciate from Club Champion.
Small batch.
And if you're not happy with it, you bring it back, and they'll keep working on it until it's right. So, thanks, you guys. You're doing an amazing job for the golfing community. It's well worth the extra money that you're going to go spend, because you end up with a product that you can really appreciate and hit well and hit consistently.
Yep.
So we're looking forward to giving you a follow-up when we receive the product, and we'll see the difference in what it does. All the best.